Good morning, everyone. We are Group 2, and we will be talking about bonds and different markets in bonds. So, in our previous topic, and that was reported by the Group 1, so it is all about the stocks. And let's have a recap or brief recap first. So, when we say stocks, it is all about the shares, or once you are a shareholder, you are a part owner in the company. Now we need to identify the different, or how does stocks and bonds differ to each other, and we need to focus, of course, in terms of bonds. Now I have here an illustration, of course, for you to you will be in order for you to be able to more understand our topic, which is bond. So I have here a process on how bond works. So in our left, upper left, in the illustration, it is company. So let's say, for example, that company wants to expand, but there is a problem. The company doesn't have enough money to raise for that project. And of course, the company wants to need an investor for this. So the company will issue a bond. So that is the bond. Now, who will be able, and who is the one who will be able to purchase or buy that bond? We called it the investor. So the investor would be the one who will be lending the money to the company. Okay? And of course, the next process of it, what is the exchange for that uh, method or way? So the investor will receive a coupon payment. So that is the regular interest payments that the bondholder receives. Okay, so since you will be receiving an interest, of course, and also you will be having a profit from the money that you've lended. Okay, now let's proceed to this next step, which is the last, which is the company repays the principal. Always remember that when the maturity date is arrive, or we can also call this as the due date. Of course, when the principal matures, the company will pay you back, of course, because they promise you to pay the money that you lended to them. Okay, now let's have another example. Okay, now in our illustration, you can see that this is company A, and then, of course, let's say that company A wants to build a condominium. And of course, she will or they will offer bonds. And then the man in here in the right side, that is Mr. X. So Mr. X, as a bondholder, he will be the one who will be lending the money to the company. So the face value for this is 500,000. And the time or the maturity date here is 10 years with a coupon rate which is 5%. So in 500,000 there is a interest or the coupon rate 5%. If we converted it into decimal, that would be 0.05. And then in order for us to know what would the amount Mr. X will receive from that 5%, we need to just multiply our face value, which is 500,000, to our coupon rate, which is 0.05. So if we multiply the both of it, we will be getting 25,000. And let's assume let's assume that this illustration is annually. But if it is semi-annually, you just need to divide it by 2. So 500,000, and then multiply by it by 0.05, and of course divided it by 2, and that would be the interest or the coupon that Mr. X will receive if it is semi-annually. Okay, now let's proceed into our definition of terms in relation to bonds. Okay, in our first, it stated that bond interest. So bond interest is a bearing security which promises to pay you. Okay? So since this is a bond, you are as I've stated a while ago that this your money that you've lended to the company, it is secured that they will pay you back, of course, in the when the maturity date comes. And of course, we have two methods on how they will pay you. Of course, in the first, it is stated amount of money on the maturity date. So in the first, it is a stated amount of money on the maturity date. Okay. So in our two, it is a regular interest payment called coupons. So as I've already said it earlier, beside from the money, which is that you've borrowed, the company borrowed, you will be getting a profit from it, or profit from it. Okay. And then next is our coupon. Our coupon is a periodic interest payment that the bondholder receives during the time between purchase date and maturity date, usually received semi-annually. Always remember that this coupon is always or usually, just usually, received semi-annually. And next, we have our coupon rate. And of course, in our coupon rate, remember that since it is a coupon rate, it is only uh this rate is only for the coupon. Okay, so this is the rate per coupon payment period denoted by R. And then next is our price of a bond. In our price of a bond, the price of the bond at the purchase time denoted by P. So, that is the definition itself, okay? And then our par value or our or face value, also called as face value, this is the amount payable or the maturity date denoted by F. So we can relate this as our future value, okay? And then next is okay, if P is equal to F, the bond is purchased at par. And if P is less than F, the bond is purchased at a discount. And if P is greater than F, the bond is purchased at premium. And of course, next is our term of a bond. This is the fixed period of a time in years at which the bond is redeemable, as stated in the bond certificate, number of years from time of purchase to maturity date. So that is the definition for it. So in our fair price bond, this is the present value of all cash flow inflows to the bondholders. So if our par value or our face value can be represented as the future value, so in our fair price bond, this is our present value. Okay, so now let's proceed to our given examples.
Okay, let's proceed to the example number 1. Determine the amount of the semi-annual coupon for a bond with the face value of 300,000 that pays 10% payable semi-annually for its coupon. The given is face value and the coupon rate. Face value is equal to 300,000, coupon rate is equal to 10%, which is 0.10. Find amount of the semi-annual coupon. Annual coupon amount is 300,000 and we times it to 0.10, which means v times the face value to the coupon rate, and it is equal to 30,000. You can try it on your calculator to see if you really understand the lesson. Semi-annual coupon amount is 30,000, and we times it to 1/2 is equal to 15,000. Thus, the amount of the semi-annual coupon is 15,000. Note, always remember that the coupon rate is used only for computing the coupon amount, usually paid semi-annually. It is not the rate at which money grows. Instead, current market conditions are reflected by the market rate and is used to compute the present value of the future payments. And now, let's proceed to the example number 2.
Okay, so now the example number 2. So suppose that a bond has a face value of 100,000 and its maturity date is 10 years from now. The coupon rate is 5% payable semi-annually. Find the fair price of this bond assuming that the annual market rate is 4%. So, in this problem, we need to find the fair price of the bond. Okay? So, for that, of course, we need to list down first all of the given. And then we need to list down all of the given. So our face value is 100,000, and then our maturity time is, of course, it is 10 years. And our coupon rate is 5%, and if we converted it, that will be 0.05. So our number of periods, it is 20, since it is semi-annually, right? It is, so it will be 2. And then our time, or our maturity time, is 10 years. So we will be multiplying the both of it. So that will be equal to 20. Now, in our market rate, that will be 4%. Or if we converted it, that will be 0.04. And then, first, we need to solve the amount of the semi-annual coupon. So in order to do that, we need to multiply our face value, which is 100,000, in the coupon rate, which is 0.05. And then, in order to get our semi-annual coupon, we needed to divide with 2. Okay? So if we divide it, our answer would be 2, 5. It will be as stated that the bondholder receive 20 payments of 2.5 each, and 100,000 at T is equal to 10. So this means that beside of the principal, which is the 100,000, when the principal matures, you will be able to receive also an interest, or which is your profit in here. So the money that you lend, that will be having an interest, and you will be having a profit. So now let's solve for the present value of the 100,000. So in order to do that, we need to substitute all of the given in our formula for our present value. So the formula for this is P is equals to F all over 1 plus I, or we can say that this is J, okay? And then raised to the power of N. And then we will just substitute all of this. Now, 100,000 for our F in our numerator, and then in the close and open parentheses, so just copy the 1, and then our I here, or this is the market rate, okay? Don't forget it. So since this is annually, so if we are going to divide the R over M, that would be 0.04 as is. Like the R, which is our rate for overall as the market rate is 4%, or if we converted it is as 0.04 all over 1, since our given is assuming that this is annual. So our I, or we can say it is the J, this is 0.04. And then raise to the 10. Raise to the power 10, or this is our exponent. So why is it 10? So since this is our time of maturity, this is only 10. Okay? And if you will solve it in your calculator, and our answer would be 67,556.42. And then now, let's proceed to finding the present value of the 20 payments of the 2.5 each. So this is where our semi-annual coupon. We need to find the present value of it. Now, since this is semi-annual, we cannot just directly solve it, okay? Now, we need to use this formula. So I is equals to 1 plus I all over m raised to the power of m squared all over m1 minus 1. So I know that we've already encountered this from our last week topic. So in order to get that, I, so we need to substitute again. So I is equals to 1, just copy 1 plus, so our I here is the same as the overall, which is our market rate, which is 0.04. And then our M, what is our M? It is, since it is annual, so it is only 1. And then, why is it 1/2 in our exponent? So, our m sub 2 here is the annual. And then, our m sub 1 here is our semi-annually. So, just try to remember that the one who will be saying first in our problem, that will be our m sub 1, and then the second one would be this m sub 2. And then just put -1 and just calculate it in your calculator, and please practice on how you should be computing it, so you'll be able to get the right answer. So if your answer would be 0.0190198, so if your answer is 0.0198039, so that is correct. Now, we can now solve for our P, or which is our present value in our 20 payments in our semi-annual coupon. Okay, so for this formula, we need to just substitute. So I will already encounter it in this formula. This is from general annuity. So here we can substitute. So I mean minus 1 plus I, and then raised to negative n all over I. So our R here would be the 2.5, since this is our regular payment. And then just copy the 1 minus, and then in the inside of the parenthesis, just copy the 1 plus 0.0198039, and then raise it to negative 20. So why is it negative 20? Since we are we need to find the number of periods, and this is denoted by n, right? So our number of periods here is 20. So if you solve, okay, I'll I will I will teach you on how you will solve it. So first, solve it from the inside of the parenthesis first. And of course, after that, just raise it to -20. And then just put or delete or click the AC and then 1 minus answer. And then after that, you need to divide it by our denominator, which is 0.0198039. And then you will be multiplying it to our R, which is 25. And then the answer would be 40,956.05. So now, since we already got the present value of the 100,000 and of course the 20 payments of 2,500 of each, so we will be adding up the both of it since the solution needs to find the fair price of the bond. So we'll be adding up the both of it. So the price will be 67,556.42, adding up to for our 40,956.05, and that will be equal to 108,512.47. So that would be the answer of our fair price. Now let's proceed to our example number 3, which is find the value of a 20,000 bond with interest of 14% compounded semi-annually, which is redeemable at 108% in 5 years. That yields the purchaser 6% converted semi-annually. So in our solution here, finding the purchase price of the bond requires us to determine first the coupon payment and the redemption value of the bond. Using the information given in the problem, substitute the values of the respective formula. So we need first to identify the coupon payment and also the redemption value. But first of all, we need to list down first all of the given, right, in our stated problem. So we will be able to just solve it easily in our problem. So our F here, of course, it is 20,000. And then our rate for it is, since it is 14%, our face value is with the interest of 14% based on our problem, so that will be 0.14 if we converted it into decimal. Now, since it is stated that it is compounded semi-annually, our M would be 2. Now, our rate, which is rate from redeemable, that would be 108%. And of course, if we converted it into decimal, that would be 1.08. Now, our T, okay, as you can see that this is 5 years. So, our T here is 5. And our we have another R again. So, the R here is the yields or yields the purchaser. So, it is 0.06 if we converted 6%. Okay? Now, we have B here. So, our B here is in our numerator, that will be the rate of the rate from the face value. And of course, since that is our numerator, our denominator would be the M. So, since our conversion period of the rate from that interest, since it is stated that it is semi-annually, so that would be 2. So if you divide the both of it, that we will be getting 0.07. And then our N here, so we will be multiplying the T and also the our M. So 5 multiplied by 2, and that will be equal to 10. Now, lastly, for our I, so in order to solve that or to get that I, the 0.06 which is our yields the purchaser at 6%. That will be our R here in our I. And then since it is stated that it is converted semi-annually, so therefore our M would be 2. And then if we divide it, we will be getting 0.03. So since we already done in listing down all of the givens, so now we are ready to complete all of the formula, or we can now substitute. Now, in order to find the coupon payment, we need to multiply the 20,000 or our F into our B. So, if we multiply the both of it, our coupon payment will be 1,400. In redemption period, or redemption value, I mean, our formula for this is just multiplying the F and of course our R in redeemable. So it is redeemable at 108%. So we'll be multiplying the both of it. So 20,000 multiply 1.08 and we'll be getting 21,600 pesos. Now, in order to find our purchase price, this is the formula that we need. So R, our R, and then the 1, and then plus I, and then raised to negative n plus C, and then 1 minus 1 plus I, and then of course closing of parentheses, right? So raised to negative n all over I again. So we need to substitute all of this. Now, our R here, or which is our redemption value, the value of it is 21,600. Okay? And then in our 1, just copied 1 and then the addition, and then the 0.03 here is our I. So since in our given it is 0.03, in our I, will be substituting our I into 0.03 and just raise it to negative 10, which is our N. And of course, after that, just add it to our C, which is our C is our coupon payment, and the value for that is 1,400. Now, multiply it to 1, just copy 1 minus 1 again, but you need to put, of course, in your calculator the close and open parentheses, and then plus 0.03 since that is our I, and then raised to negative 10. So why it is negative 10 again? Because it is, our n is 10. Now, in our denominator, it is 0.03 because we are finding, or we need to substitute the I. Now, if you will solve it in your calculator, okay, our answer would be 28,014.71. So, therefore, the investor who pays 28,014.71 is investing the money. Okay, so that is our purchase price for this problem. So, in summary, in our topic, bonds and different markets in bonds, when we say bonds, it is basically just a debt. And as a bondholder, you are the one who will be lending the money to the company. And who is the issuer, and the issuer can be the company, the financial institutions, or even the government institutions, and etc. And of course, that would be our topic for this day, and I hope that you've learned something from me. Thank you. That's all.